Greetings, fellow travelers. Matt from William Henry with another peek behind the curtain here at the studio in Oregon. Here in the middle of our 25th anniversary, I wanted to use this installment to talk a little bit about granulation or Jawan. This is a technique that we used early days William Henry to adorn some of our pocket knives, and then we sort of went away from it for 15 years and went back to recapture that early magic in our 25th anniversary, and that turned out to be a lot harder than we expected. Real quick, in the 80s and 90s, hundreds of people in Bali, which is an island in Indonesia, were silversmithing and doing beautiful granulation. And we sort of jumped right onto that bandwagon at the end to adorn William Henry without realizing we were on a bandwagon. And then in the interim 15 years, almost all of them are retired or gone on to other techniques. There's only a couple dozen people left still doing Jawan or granulation in Bali. And it was really hard to find and reconnect with those people and build that skill set back for what we were trying to do to celebrate our 25th anniversary. But we did it, very excited. And granulation is basically applied granules or fine sterling or gold wire laid onto a surface as a jewelry adorning technique. Jawan is the Indonesian, Balinese word for the same thing. And the process is highly labor intensive, highly artful, and entirely by hand. So to get the balls, you snip sterling or gold wire into little chunks. Those chunks are then either laid onto a piece of charcoal or put into charcoal powder and heated with a flame. And at the exact right moment, when they achieve the right heat, they naturally become a sphere. They move towards the flame, towards the heat, and become a sphere. And now you've taken a little snip of sterling or gold and created a perfect sphere. Then those have to be sorted by size, and then you've got your baseline components. Those components are laid onto our bolster or our frame, which we provide already pre-finished and all of that with all of our critical details in place. So they're laid on using some kind of a temporary adhesive. In traditional Balinese technique, that was a berry juice. To lay the balls and the wire into place to hold. Once they're all sort of held and the pattern is visible, then you use heat, and you heat that whole assembly up to the exact moment where all of the metal begins to liquefy. And as soon as it begins to liquefy, it bonds. And all of those separate, in some cases, hundreds and hundreds of different balls and pieces of wire become one piece of metal with that sort of substrate, with that William Henry frame. And then you use sulfur and liver of oxide and more flame to get darkened backgrounds, and you polish and burnish the tops and do a lot of additional handwork to get to the final both visual and tactile finish that sort of we expect of the fine granulation or Jawan features. And then you've got a beautifully adorned section of a William Henry. Again, which we did in the early days and we're doing now in select limited editions for our 25th anniversary. So just a few examples, we're gonna go way back. So this guy is circa 2000 or 2001, and that bolster is sterling silver with 18 karat gold, sort of swirls of wire in it. Really beautiful piece. This was a one-off. I wish we could have done it as an edition, but some complexities kept us from it. One of our 25th anniversary editions, you can see that high contrast, really bold pattern of new Jawan, new granulation, done for us by the Smiths in Bali. And then one more piece that I will leave in the box, but I really love this one. Ornate, really highly detailed, with a diagonal of 18 karat gold Jawan set into the sterling silver. Real drama, really sort of a throwback to the heyday of William Henry's granulation, and also the granulation heyday in Bali. So that's a little bit about the material, about the technique, just about the value add of how complicated all of this actually is, and how beautifully simple it is when it's finally presented, which is, in many cases, the story of William Henry's craft through and through. But in this case, we proudly work with these silversmiths in Bali to sort of reclaim this almost lost art of Jawan or granulation for our 25th anniversary and maybe beyond. So, thanks as always for spending some time with me. We will see you next time.